Hello, hello, hello. I just wanted to get on here today. I hope that everybody is having a wonderful day. I just wanted to be encouraging. If you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you for tuning in. To all my new members of the community, I truly thank you for being a part of the community and joining me on this journey. Speaking of journey, I just wanted to talk to you guys about it. So I did a video a couple of days ago, maybe a week or so ago, and I mentioned the several journeys that I'm on right now. And one of the things that I started doing this year, or just a few months ago maybe, is growing. I wanted to grow a garden. So I started growing my garden. It's just a couple of things. I just started with a few seeds because I was trying to get everything all prepared and have it all looking, aesthetic, like a real gardener. But in reality, I'm not a real gardener yet. So I said, you know what? I keep trying to get everything to look like I want it to look, because ultimately I want to have a balcony garden, because I have a balcony off of my room. So I want to have a balcony garden. So I wanted to try to have it all looking a certain way, and like I wanted to look and do it that way. And so but I kept, because of that, because me wanting it to look a certain way, I kept putting it off. And then I decided I'm just gonna go ahead and start. I got these seeds that I bought a long time ago, and I just was gonna start. I don't have to wait till I got all these pots that look all exactly alike and everything looks so good. I'm just gonna start the planting. So I want to say it's been maybe at least over a month now. I started the planting, and I planted a couple things. Some things I planted were from seed, like seeds that I purchased. A couple things were seeds out of the actual vegetable. I think that was some peppers, and then I have some herbs that I started with also. So it was just a few things, but I said I'm gonna start this process. So I bought some soil, and I got some little pots, and I just put the seed in the soil, and I began to water. So I watched it, and probably maybe a couple days or so went by. Maybe after the third or fourth day, I realized that I started getting some sprouts. So when I started getting some sprouts, y'all, I got excited. Why? Because I have tried gardening before, and it just was not working out for me. And people in my family, my dad, he does it. Like, they all the boys seem like all the men in the family are better at it than the women. However, they've all been able to do it. So I'm like, I know that I can do this. I'm not trying to have like a farm. It's just a few things that I know I use that I want to grow myself. So I said, I'm just gonna try it. So I started seeing little sprouts of green growing through the dirt, the soil. So I started getting excited, and I started taking a few pictures here and there of the process. And during the process, I noticed it excited me more when I watered it, when I knew that something was growing. But the first thing, when I put the seeds in, I believed that they were going to grow. And I put them in the pot with expectation that it was going to grow. So when I planted these seeds, I planted them with an expectation to see growth, ultimately to see what I planted manifest itself. So I'm watering the seeds, I'm watering what I planted, and I started to see growth, and I get excited. So then I just keep watering it. At this point, I'm not really telling anybody. The only person that really knew I was doing this was my daughter, because she lived there. So other than that, she's the only one that really knows. So I'm just planting, not really saying anything. I planted, and I'm just watering. I'm just checking everything out, making sure everything is getting the way it is, and it's growing, it's looking great. So then I take more pictures and I start to get excited. But then I think a couple of days or a week or so went by, and it was looking kind of like a couple of them were like drying out. So I'm like, oh no, it looked like it's starting to die. What is going on? Am I not putting enough water? Am I not putting enough water in? Am I putting too much? Because I know in the past, me personally, I have a tendency probably to water things more than I should rather than underwater. So I'm thinking that I'm putting too much water in it. But then, I don't know. I just felt maybe I needed to put a little bit more. So I put a little bit more, and when I put a little bit more, I noticed that it started. Now I was putting the same amount in all of them, and one plant was growing still, like it wasn't drying out. It was still growing, it was doing great, and I was putting the same amount of water in all. But the other three weren't doing so well. They weren't doing so well. So then I realized maybe I need to put more water in these. So when I started to put more water in the other three, I think it was maybe like pepper plants or something. When I started putting more water in those, they started to sprout up again and start to grow even more. So now they're growing way more. So one, I just started learning the lessons about planting and, you know, nurturing. And one thing I definitely noticed is that, okay, these plants are not all the same. So they're not going to need the same amount of water. They're going to need different amounts of water. They're going to need different amounts of sunlight. They're going to need different amounts of nurturing. So I started to be more attentive to the plants and each individual type of plant and learn what each one needed to help it grow. So as it continued to grow, I started getting really excited, y'all, because I have never really been able to do this. So I'm like, man, it's really growing. Everything is looking great. This is awesome. So I'm just happy to see my plants growing. Then I started talking about it. I started telling people around me. I started telling my family members, and I started telling different people around me, hey, man, I'm growing these herbs, and I'm growing these peppers, and, you know, and I became really excited. And then I started to show pictures of the growth and how things were going and how it's progressing. And I'm telling you, I was so excited about it. I was so passionate about it. I was so excited, and, you know, and they were seeing my excitement. And then about a week or so ago, I came and I met with one of my friends, and she said, oh, I got something for you. And she brought me another plant. She brought me some rosemary. And she said, I brought you this because, you know, you've been growing your stuff, and I wanted to add to what you're doing. So you know what made me, I was so thankful for it, and I added it to my little collection. And I know at some point I'm gonna have to repot them and actually do put it in a place to where it looks nice and pretty and give it room to grow and all those things. But what it showed me when she brought me that rosemary plant was that when you are excited, when you are expecting of what you are growing, and you are excited about what you're doing, the passion that you exuberate for other people, they're going to see that, and then they're going to want to be a part of that. And it automatically, that's what it took me to. When she saw my passion and my excitement about, there are some people that are not going to be excited for you. There's some people going to be like, well, you don't know what you're doing. It's not going to grow and all of that. But there are also people that are going to be on your side. They're going to want to join what you're doing. They're going to want to support anything that you have going on, because why? They see the growth. When I showed the growth, I spoke about it with passion, and I showed the pictures of where it came from and where it is now, and it made her excited about it, and to the point to where she wanted to support my journey. She wanted to support what I was doing and invest in it herself by providing me with some more plants to grow. So that's the thing. When you are excited about something, when you have something inside of you and you're excited about it, you've already planted that seed and you've been watering it and you've been doing the work and doing the work and doing the work, and you're showing your excitement and you're showing your passion about it, there are people that's going to be on this journey that's going to be so excited with you. They're going to support you and they're going to invest in you. So as long as you believe in you and nurture what you have inside of you, you're going to have people that are going to support you. Don't focus on who's not supporting you, but focus on the person that is ready, willing, and there to support whatever it is that you're doing, because they see your growth. Thank you.